We got a new puppy! Her name is Rydia, and she's just adorable. Look at her. Here's a picture of her sleeping on her little puppy bed. Edgar hates her. Edgar can't stand her. Edgar is so over Rydia. But in honor of my new puppy Rydia, I've decided to do a Let's Play of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise version 0.3.0, which is the most recent version as of January 2019, and we're going to start with the Start Rydia flag, so we start with Rydia. All the flags on the bottom of the screen there, that's going to define how the randomization logic works, and I do like a fairly robust and very difficult randomizer for games that I know well, and Final Fantasy IV is a game that I know well. Just some of the stuff you can do here, you get access to your customization screen right from the beginning if you want, and you can rename all the characters right from here, so you don't have to keep visiting a naming way during the game. They have something called name distinguishers, because in the randomizer you can get duplicate characters. We're going to start with Rydia, and we're going to start with one other random character, one of these other people, but you can get duplicates. I might start with 2 Rydias, I have no idea. I'm not going to actually walk through what all the flags mean, because they're incredibly in-depth compared to the other randomizers I've done on this channel. Final Fantasy I and the Zelda randomizer are both fairly simple compared to this. The logic in place gets very, very complex, but the 2 new features of this version that I'm actually looking forward to are, like I said, the duplicate characters. I think if we get duplicate characters, it's going to be kind of interesting, and the spoon flag, which is only going to come into play if we get Edward at some point during the run. Let's just jump in here. There's basically 3 things that we're going to be looking for: characters, key items, and bosses. And that's what this tracker is for on the side of the screen. Oh, there's Edward. There he is. And our key item that we start with is the twin harp. Well, that's... It's hard to think of a worse start than that, but... So here's... Okay, Edward has a new flag in this version specifically for him called the spoon flag. There's an item in the game called the spoon. It is one of the key items. It's an endgame item, and its only function is it's an incredibly high attack power weapon that nobody can equip. The idea is you use Edge, the ninja, to throw this item, and it always does a guaranteed 9999 damage. First, we're going to start out just by... I guess we got to put both of these characters in the back row. Let's go ahead and drop a save here. So the spoon flag, because Edward is the spoony bard, makes it so that Edward can equip the spoon item, which I'm actually pretty... Oh, there's another Rydia. We're going to have 2 Rydias in this seed. And it looks like we are guarded, because there's 2 boss fights there guarding that character. All of the logic in the game matches the logic from standard Final Fantasy IV. When you come to Baron in Final Fantasy IV, Yang joins the party here, but in order to get Yang in the party, you have to fight through 2 boss fights. And one of these boss fights is going to be the Magus Sisters, from the look of it. That's not a boss fight we're interested in right now. So we are going to have 2 Rydias in our party. So Rydia is not a super strong character in the game. She does get summon spells, which are really, really nice. And she gets access to black magic, which is also really, really nice. But as far as dealing damage with black magic goes, Palom is the better option. He gets better black magic sooner, and he has higher black magic casting stats. This is something that typically... Is there another box down here? I'm going to try to get all the boxes, but I'm not 100% sure I know where all of them are. We'll know at the end of the game. It says 190 or whatever, how many boxes are in the game. It'll tell us how many we missed. And the other drawback to Rydia is she doesn't get white magic, and white magic can be very, very important. A run without a white mage is much more difficult. Where are the boxes here? There's boxes in the grass here. Just a pittance of gold that we'll grab, and a black sword. So we've got basically nothing yet. We've got this crystal armor. We might end up selling that. There are no random encounters. I have the flag turned on that disables all random encounters. So what we're going to first do, actually, is just kind of do a world tour through all of the overworld sections. Specifically, what I'm looking for is... there's only 1 carrot? I think there's only 1 carrot. on these maps. But specifically what I'm looking for is the Stardust Rod. Would be the best possible item to find in this early section of the game. Actually, there's one more interesting flag that we'll get to check out here in a minute. Let's go ahead and start doing our world tour. The Stardust Rod is the highest plus. Is it called int in this game? I actually don't remember. It's Wiz. So Wiz and Will are your two spellcasting stats. Wiz is for black magic, Will is for white magic. And the Stardust Rod is the highest Wiz item you can equip, and it also has a use effect, which is very nice. I got a Stardust item there. We'll cast the Comet spell when we use it. We've got... Oh, so we have Rosa. So 4 of our characters are decided. We've got Rydia, Edward, another Rydia, and Rosa. This kind of a spellcast heavy party. Let's see what our shops are here. We can't actually get to the shops in Baron, which is why I didn't check. So some more crystal stuff. Okay, nothing there for our casters. But if we get that Stardust Rod, that's pretty much an I win button for the entire overworld section of the game. Edward's only other saving grace is he can equip bows and arrows, and that's about it. That's about all he's good for. If you don't get him a good bow and arrow, then he's going to be in bad shape. So we get some free items here. There is a character is supposed to join here. Tella joins here in the base game, but there's a flag called No Free Lunch, which I've turned off, which means there are no freebie characters available in Free Enterprise. I have to fight a boss to get anybody. There's an Assassin Dagger. There's a Mazmune Sword. If we get Edge, we're only 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes into the recording, and we already know who 4 of our characters are. Although, to get Rosa out of there, we need the Sand Ruby. Until we find a Sand Ruby somewhere, Rosa is not going to be... That's her vanilla location, come to think of it. But yeah, until we get a Sand Ruby, Rosa is not going to be accessible to us. So we're just starting to run out, looking for basically anything we can use. There should be a couple more items here to grab. Yeah, this one here. The tiara is not bad. I think that's a whiz. Let's check. Her whiz is 8 right now, and I think the tiara will boost that a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, 18, so we more than doubled her spellcasting stat with that tiara. Pretty decent item. Alright, so Anna's going to blink away, and all this is going to do is give me access to the hovercraft. Although I think there is an item on that map that we want to go back for, just in case it's a Stardust Rod, you never know. The hovercraft obviously is not useful in Free Enterprise initially because you do start with the Enterprise, your airship, that's why it's called that. But there are a couple places in the game that we cannot access without the hovercraft. Oh, I guess it's just an MP refill. Okay. One is an HP refill, one is an MP refill. Got it. Our next stop is actually going to be Mount Hobbs, because there's a new trick in this particular version of the game, because Rydia learns a new spell when you try to enter Mount Hobbs. In the main game, she learns Fire 1, but they've randomized that. We might end up with, I think, any of her spells except Leviathan and Bahamut. So let's just see what we get here. I guess she just Karate Manned all that ice away. Oh, it was a Titan. We summoned Titan. Okay, that's a good one to get early. All Rydias learned Titan, because we do have more than one Rydia. Unfortunately, Titan costs 40 MP, and we have 10, because Rydia starts at first level. I think she's the only character that starts at first level. When Cecil class changes into a Paladin, he's first level, but he levels up very quickly. Level 1 Paladin is actually... I want to make sure I don't trigger this boss fight up here. I just want to see who the character is on the mountain. Let's see who we have to look forward to. This will kind of help me, because we know who 4 of our characters are already. This will kind of help me determine like what weapons and items we can sell for gold. And it is a second Rosa. All right. Oh, you know what? We can take the duplicate characters, but I don't think we have to. The game will select 5 characters for us. So we don't necessarily have 2 Rydias and 2 Roses, although we can take 2 Rydias and 2 Roses if we want. That Rose will be easier to get than the one in Kaipo, though, because we don't have to worry about grabbing a Sand Ruby. Hey! That's not bad either. That's going to bring her... Well, it didn't do anything for her Wisdom, but hey, you know what? It's there. We got it. It's good times. Let's go get the freebie stuff down here in the Mithril Mine. I'd rather not run with 2 Rydias, if possible. I'd rather not have 2 Rydias to deal with. I want a heavy hitter, is what I want. I want something like Edge would be ideal, I think. Edge is really great. Kane is decent enough. Was that it? Just those 2 boxes? I thought there were 3 here. Did I get 3? Yeah, because there was 1 here, and then there was 1 up there. Okay. We've got... I'm also looking for adamant armors. Are a thing. They're extremely expensive, but adamant armor makes a character basically invincible. I got a lunar staff. That's not going to help us here. Oh, you know what? We should also be checking item stores, I guess. Because there are useful items from time to time. You can get items that permanently increase your HP and MP. You can get spellcasting items. For example, I think I saw a Boreas here. Did I see a Boreas here? Or did I get one in a box somewhere? Oh, there's a Thor Rage there. We might actually come back for Thor Rages here. Depending on what our first few boss fights are. The bosses all get randomized into various positions, which you would expect in a randomizer. So you can basically find any boss in any position. And there is, again, there's a little bit of logic to this, because when a boss goes to a position, it assumes the statistics of the vanilla boss that's supposed to be in that position. For example, the Mist Dragon is probably one of the lowest stat bosses in the game as far as single target boss fights go. And if we roll, say, Rubicant into that space, Rubicant's a very difficult, not quite end game, but almost end game. There is gold apples for 25 Gs. So it'll be Rubicant, and it'll have all of Rubicant's attack patterns and things, all his spells and items, or attacks that he does, but it'll have the Mist Dragon's HP values and magic values and everything else. So it'll be a very weak Rubicant. There's Glass Helmet, which is a good endgame piece of equipment. There's a Dragon Whip, which Rydia can equip if we have to attack. If we don't find decent, like a Stardust Rod or anything, we might take a Dragon Whip just to burn down some of the early bosses. I don't think it'll come to that, though. There are still bosses, though, that even if you find them very, very early, are still going to be very, very strong. We're going to have to do some scumming here, because there are trapped boxes here in Eblin, and we are not nearly strong enough to fight any of the monsters in the trapped boxes. But I want to get the non-trapped boxes just to see if I can get some good equipment. So if we find a trapped box, we'll just have to reset. Looks like a samurai hat. How do we get... Oh, down here. Monsters! These guys will kill me very, very quickly. It's already happened. It's already happened. So the name of the game is going to be to try to get some of this gear taken care of, and then fight some of the early bosses. I'm going to try to do as close to a full clear as possible. I'm going to find all the key items. I'm going to try to fight all the bosses, whatever I can handle. Oops! And when you go into that stairway again. But the pots are also randomized. All treasure locations are randomized. We got a Blitz Whip. So now we don't need to buy that Dragon Whip. We can use this one here, and she should be able to do decent ish damage with that. Let's run back out and save that whip. That should be good enough to fight some of the earliest bosses. Because there's no random encounters, I've got random encounters turned off. The only way to level up is to fight bosses or to use an alarm item to create a random encounter effectively. But there are 2 more trapped chests to look for here. Trapped chests, every trapped chest in the game is counts as kind of its own item pool. Like you have the key item pool, the trapped chest item pool, the regular treasure pool. What I've done is I've used a randomization flag, and you can go to the website. The website, which I'll put on screen now, it's also linked in the description. Very, very well documented as far as explaining what all the different flags do and how they interact. There's all kinds of different ways that you can randomize your treasure in this game. A ribbon! I do like that. Let's give that to Edward, actually. Excellent. There's another Stardust item. We're going to have one more trapped chest eventually. A drain sword. So it's got to be down here in the basement. So let's actually take the boxes that we know are safe out of here. I know there's a samurai helmet that's safe. But I want to see which one in the basement is trapped. So definitely worth coming here to get that ribbon. That was monsters there, right? Yeah. We're going to the basement to check and see. Who's got monsters? With any luck, we'll open 2 boxes that won't have monsters. Excellent. So that last box must also be trapped. Man, if we find an edge somewhere, we've already got great endgame equipment for edge. We're already set there. That's if edge is our... How many characters? We've seen 3 unique characters, Rydia, Edward, and Rosa. Oh, that wasn't the samurai hat. That was not the samurai hat at all. Well, okay, we're almost done with the world tour. We've only got Troya and 1 Chocobo Forest left. And that's all the safe spots we can check. There is a Chocobo Forest. I think it's up here. Yeah, there it is. We'll check the stuff here in Troya. Was there any... I don't think there's any shops. Oh, we haven't checked Fabul yet, because I think there is treasure in Fabul, but there's also a boss fight that I'm not ready for just yet. What do we got in shops? Just some Garbo that we're not interested in, really. Wow, that's a big... There's my Stardust Rod. Okay. So we're going to come back to Troya to get a Stardust Rod when we're done looting. There's also 2 item shops here. There's a Star Veil. Star Veil in Troy. Troy's got some good stuff, man. Oh, that's just the inn. Where is the... Looks like a cafe. Is it in here? Yeah. A Sylph spell. Sylph is an excellent spell for Rydia. Alright, well, let's grab the treasures from here, then we can go to Troya Castle and get the treasures there as well. Actually, I think there's some treasures back in here, too. In the Chocobo Farm. I think this pot back here is a carrot in the base game. It's not. Oh, no, now we're going to have a devil of a time getting out of here. Oh, no, I guess not. There's more... Wow, they were really nice when they made that secret passage. They made it so the NPCs don't actually block you trying to leave. Okay, so we need to go all the way up and around. There are boxes up this way. And then we Do you need the Earth Crystal to get the boxes in the castle? You might. Well, Lilith Rod. That's probably not bad. 18 Wiz. What does a Lilith Rod do for us as far as wisdom goes? 23 wisdom. I mean, the Stardust Rod is still going to be better. And I don't think we'll have any difficulty affording it, because we're going to have all this crazy treasure to go before we fight any monsters at all. So even that Blitz Whip will just end up selling. What do I want to check? Fabul, I guess we can check real quick. Here, let's do this. Let's get my sort happening here. We're going to have to do some work on this screen, but not just yet. Yeah, we'll sell that Blitz Whips. Let's buy our Stardust Rod right now. That's going to be our key to the entire overworld section. We do not need a Power Staff, or Darkness Arrows, or Poison Arrows. We don't need a Black Sword. We don't need these because we got the Rod. I'm not going to use an Assassin Dagger. I'm not going to need a Long Sword because we got the Mazamune. Ninja Star we'll keep. We'll get rid of this cap. We'll get rid of this leather. Don't need a Wind Spear because we got the Gunner Spear. Claws. I don't know what's safe to keep. The crystal equipment I'm going to keep for now, just because we might end up with Cecil on hand. How about this Drain Sword? I guess we'll hold on to the Drain Sword for now. We'll get rid of this. How much did it cost? 55k. Can I raise another 10k? Maybe we'll just sell the crystal armor. The crystal armor will get me right there. Oh, this fire armor will too, though. We'll sell the fire armor and then just buy it. Beautiful. We are ready to start fighting some bosses, kids. And now her wisdom's 33 at level 1. We don't have any magic for her yet. She's got the Chocobo spell, and that's it. She doesn't learn any magic to start with. Oh, lady, thank you.
Shoutouts to Jonathan Zia for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.